Hey Canucks fans, the Canucks wrote out 4 new lines at practice today in an effort to hopefully create some more scoring. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. And this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, October the 6th. And yes, this is what happens when you don't score any goals. The Canucks were shut out by the Calgary Flames last night, 3-0. And therefore, they had practice at Rogers Arena today. They got off the plane, went straight from the airport to the rink, and this is how they lined up. So no changes to the defense, of course. So you still have your Edler, Myers, Tanev, Hughes, Ben, and Stetcher pairings. But up front, all 4 lines were changed. The top line is now Pettersson, Boeser, and JT Miller. The second line, Bo Horvat, Tanner Pearson with Michael Ferland. The third line was Gaudette between Levo and Sutter. And the fourth line had Tyler Mott come back. It was Beagle, Mott, and then for Tannen and Schaller splitting that left wing spot with Louis Eriksson as the extra forward, so to speak, the 14th forward, not just the 13th forward with Tyler Mott back. So let's talk about all 4 lines separately and talk about what each line might bring. And again, this is making a presumption that this is how they're going to play on Wednesday during their home opener. But it makes sense, if they do play like this, because they do need to generate some more scoring after only scoring 2 goals in their first 2 games. And again, the most recent game being a shutout in Calgary. Top line, JT Miller with Pettersson and Boeser. So we want to keep Pettersson and Boeser together at least for a little bit more. No need to panic yet. Neither of them have done much offensively, but it's only been 2 games. And I guess that's the whole caveat overriding this whole thing. It's only been 2 games, so let's not freak out yet. But that's early enough, and there's enough space between games where you do have practice time and you can make these changes already. So Pettersson and Boeser are together, but now it's JT Miller on the wing instead of Michael Ferland. Michael Ferland didn't get a chance to line up with Pettersson and Boeser during the preseason. Boeser wasn't signed at the start. Ferland got sick near the end, so really they didn't get a chance to play all 3 of them together, and it showed. They didn't have a lot of chemistry. And they didn't really create, they didn't look that dangerous over the first 2 games. With JT Miller, this makes sense to me, especially given the fact that I had heard stories in the summer that when JT Miller was being, as soon as he got traded to the Vancouver Canucks, he was told by Travis Green and by Jim Benning that he would get a chance to play with Pettersson and Boeser. Now, of course, we don't know if that meant he was going to start the year with them, or he's going to get a lot of chance to play with them, or play with them on the power play only, or whatever, or only on Tuesdays, whatever the story was. But apparently, it's going to happen, and it makes sense. It was either going to be Ferland or Miller that went on the line with Pettersson and Boeser, and Ferland got the first crack for the first 2 games. Didn't do much, so now let's see what JT Miller can do. And we know what we like about JT Miller's game. He's fast. He's great on the boards. He's a great playmaker, actually a better playmaker than he is a scorer himself. So let's see what happens. Maybe he can get the puck to 2 snipers such as Pettersson and Boeser in better places. Miller's a bit of a better playmaker than Ferland, so maybe that is kind of what Pettersson and Boeser need. Okay, so that's JT Miller on the top line. Then you have Michael Ferland now playing with Horvat and Pearson. I liked Horvat and Pearson together, at the end of last season. Pearson, they were okay last game, aside from, being burned for the second Calgary Flames goal. But overall, they played quite well, at least to start the game. And then their chemistry was fine with Miller, but I think their chemistry, it won't really get hurt by putting Ferland on the line instead. Plays a north-south game similar to Tanner Pearson. Bo Horvat, you'd say, is the dangler of the 3, and Horvat's not the biggest dangler ever. But I'm interested to see how this line does. I think this line will be, they're fast with Horvat's speed and Ferland's speed, and they're big with Pearson, and Horvat's a decent size, and Michael Ferland can hit. So this might have the potential to do some good damage as well. So I'm fine with that second line. I'm fine with that first line. Third line, it started off with Gaudette between Levo and Virtanen. But then quickly, Brandon Sutter took some shifts on there. And I think it's good that they're keeping Adam Gaudette in the middle. They're keeping it in the lineup. I know Travis Green was impressed by him in the Calgary game. But he kept saying that, I guess, because with Gaudette's inexperience, you want someone with experience playing with him. And you can't put Jay Beagle there because Jay Beagle doesn't play the wing. But you can put Brandon Sutter there. So that makes a lot of sense. It's Gaudette and then Sutter and Levo. And you could even make Sutter take faceoffs if Gaudette's struggling in the faceoff dot. But I think Travis Green really liked Brandon Sutter as part of the leadership group. Really trust him, so I can see why he'd want one of their most experienced forwards with one of their least experienced forwards. So that's why Gaudette, Levo, and Sutter might make sense. Might not create a lot of offense, but we'll see. I think Josh Levo, people will be pretty disappointed with his play so far, especially on the first power play unit. He's kind of like the outlier when you have guys like Pettersson, Boeser, Edler, Hughes, Miller, Horvat, all these guys, and then you have Josh Levo kind of there in the middle. It kind of sticks out a little bit. Then our fourth line, you have Tyler Mott coming back, hopefully returning after being on the shelf for about a week and a half or so. And we miss his penalty kill. Penalty kill hasn't been bad actually before the Canucks. We miss his hustle for sure. And then Jay Beagle is going to be a staple in that fourth line. So then it becomes who's the left winger. And Schaller has been on Beagle's left side for a couple times. Vertanen has also played both fourth line and third line. So we'll see which one of those two guys draws in. We're not expecting a lot of offense from that line, but we're also not expecting them to be scored on typical fourth line idea. But if it is Mott and Vertanen flanking Jay Beagle, then there's a lot of speed there, and there is potential for maybe a goal or two. And then Louis Eriksson, like I said, will be the healthy scratch. It sounds like, maybe not. It depends on their practice again. And then one of Schaller and or Vertanen with Tyler Mott coming back. And with Tyler Mott coming back, then your roster's back up to three extras, right? With Fantenberg, on the blue line. And then, like I said, Eriksson, and then one of Vertanen or Schaller. So Canucks fans, let me know what you think. In particular, I'm curious to what you think of this switch. Miller and Ferland. Miller in the top line now, Ferland on the second line. Does this switch make sense? Do you think it's going to make a difference? Who do you think it will benefit the most? I think we want it to benefit Elias, Pettersson, and Brock Boeser the most, but obviously we want both lines to do well. So I'd love to know your thoughts, and your thoughts in particular on these lineup changes, if this is indeed the way the Canucks will line up on Wednesday. It's their home opener. Excited. Got a lot of things to talk about. I won't be going because it's Wednesday night, so it's my church night. But I know my season ticket partner, Mike, will be going. Then my first game in Rogers Arena for the regular season will be Saturday against Philly. So a lot of time to talk about that. A lot of time to talk about Wednesday's game. For now, let's talk about these forward lines. And if this is the case, let's talk about if you like the changes and what you think the biggest issue has been with the Canucks' lack of scoring there so far. Again, only 2 goals in 2 games. It's been only 2 games, but still love to hear your thoughts. And I know a lot of you chimed in on my video yesterday to talk about lack of chemistry, lack of flow, maybe just lack of experience playing with one another. All right, Canucks fans, let me know. I'll leave a comment, and I'll read, react, and reply. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Enjoy the day. God bless. Go Canucks, go.